Good morning, I'm Remo, and this is the Daily Signal for November 6th, 2025. Today, we're starting with some remarkable news. Brazil unveils an ambitious new vision to protect the Amazon rainforest that could revolutionize global environmental cooperation. Stay tuned for 9 more stories that will shape your day.
Unfiltered. Now,
Here are today's other top stories. Story 2. Europe achieves major space milestone as Ariane 6 rocket successfully launches Earth monitoring satellite to enhance climate research. Story 3. Philippines communities demonstrate incredible resilience as recovery accelerates following Typhoon Kalmagi, with international aid mobilizing rapidly. Story 4. Diplomatic breakthrough emerges as U.S. and Palestinian officials engage in productive UN talks seeking Gaza resolution. Story 5. Mexico's president makes historic stand for women's rights by pressing charges against street assault, setting powerful precedent. Story 6. Important humanitarian development as Hamas returns final American-Israeli hostage, potentially opening new diplomatic channels. Story 7. Japan innovates solutions for human-wildlife balance as specialized teams address increasing bear encounters in rural communities. Story 8. China prioritizes astronaut safety by delaying space mission return after potential debris impact, showcasing responsible space operations. Story 9. European leaders prepare crucial climate initiatives ahead of major environmental summit, signaling accelerated action. Story 10. International community mobilizes response to humanitarian concerns in Sudan as satellite evidence drives urgent aid efforts. Now let's dive into each story. This morning brings transformative news from Brazil, where President Lula has unveiled an ambitious new vision for protecting the Amazon rainforest that could change how the world approaches environmental preservation. This isn't just another environmental promise. It's a comprehensive plan that puts indigenous communities at the center of conservation efforts while creating sustainable economic opportunities. The initiative promises to combine cutting-edge technology with traditional knowledge, offering a model other nations could adopt. What makes this remarkable is how it addresses both environmental protection and economic development simultaneously. Why this matters to you? The Amazon produces 20% of the world's oxygen and influences global weather patterns. Success here could accelerate climate solutions worldwide and demonstrate that environmental protection can drive economic prosperity, not hinder it. This represents the kind of visionary leadership that transforms challenges into opportunities. Europe just achieved a major milestone in space technology and environmental monitoring. The powerful Ariane 6 rocket successfully launched the Sentinel-1D Earth observation satellite, marking a significant advancement in our ability to track climate change and respond to natural disasters. This satellite will provide unprecedented detail about Earth's changing surface, helping scientists monitor everything from melting ice caps to crop health. The successful launch also positions Europe as a leading player in the commercial space industry, competing directly with SpaceX and other major providers. The timing couldn't be better, with growing demand for environmental data driving space technology innovation. Why this matters? Better Earth monitoring means earlier disaster warnings, more accurate climate predictions, and improved agricultural planning. The satellite's data will be freely available to researchers worldwide, democratizing access to crucial environmental information. It's another example of how space technology directly benefits life on Earth. In the Philippines, communities are demonstrating remarkable resilience as they recover from Typhoon Kalmagi, which tragically claimed 114 lives but is now driving unprecedented cooperation in disaster response. What's inspiring is how quickly recovery efforts mobilized. International aid is flowing in, while local communities are organizing with extraordinary efficiency. The typhoon, which brought devastating winds and flooding to central Philippines, is now moving toward Vietnam, but the response has showcased improvements in disaster preparedness since previous storms. Emergency teams are applying lessons learned from past typhoons, making rescue and relief efforts more effective than ever before. Why this matters? The Philippines faces an average of 20 typhoons annually, making their disaster response innovations crucial for other vulnerable regions. Their community-centered approach to recovery is becoming a model for disaster resilience worldwide. As the storm heads toward Vietnam, both countries are better prepared than in previous years. Significant diplomatic movement emerged yesterday as U.S. and Palestinian officials held productive talks at the United Nations focused on finding sustainable solutions for Gaza. While details remain confidential, sources describe the discussions as the most substantive in months, with both sides exploring frameworks for humanitarian relief and long-term stability. The fact that these talks are happening at the UN with international oversight suggests serious commitment to finding workable solutions. Why this matters? After months of escalating conflict, diplomatic engagement offers the only path to lasting peace. These talks represent international recognition that sustainable solutions require all parties at the table. The UN setting provides neutral ground where creative solutions can emerge. Progress is incremental, but diplomatic momentum is building. Mexico's president made history today by pressing charges against a man who groped her on the street, sending a powerful message about accountability and women's rights that resonates far beyond Mexico's borders. This unprecedented action by a sitting president demonstrates that no one is above the law when it comes to gender-based violence. By taking legal action, rather than simply increasing security, she's chosen to use the justice system to address a problem millions of women face daily. Why this matters? When world leaders take personal stands on social issues, it can catalyze broader cultural change. Her decision to pursue charges rather than ignore the incident signals that street harassment won't be tolerated at any level of society. It's leadership by example on a global stage. Hamas has returned the body of the final American-Israeli hostage to Israel, closing a tragic chapter while potentially opening new opportunities for diplomatic engagement. While this development brings closure to grieving families, it also represents the kind of humanitarian gesture that can create space for broader dialogue. International observers are watching closely to see if this action leads to further exchanges or negotiations. Why this matters? In protracted conflicts, humanitarian gestures often precede larger diplomatic breakthroughs. The return of remains, while deeply personal for families, can signal willingness to engage on other issues. It demonstrates that even in the midst of conflict, humanitarian considerations can still influence decision-making. Small steps can sometimes lead to larger progress. Japan is taking an innovative approach to a growing challenge, deploying specialized teams to manage increasing encounters between bears and rural communities. Rather than simply culling bears, Japan is implementing sophisticated monitoring systems and developing new deterrent technologies. The approach combines traditional knowledge with modern science to find balance between human safety and wildlife conservation. This isn't just about bears. It's about adapting to environmental changes that are bringing wildlife and humans into closer contact worldwide. Why this matters? As climate change alters animal habitats globally, human-wildlife conflicts are increasing everywhere. Japan's systematic approach could provide solutions for similar challenges in North America, Europe, and other regions. Innovation often emerges from unexpected challenges. China has delayed the return of astronauts from their space mission after potential debris may have impacted their spacecraft, demonstrating how space safety is becoming increasingly sophisticated. This cautious approach reflects how space operations are maturing. Rather than rushing the return, Chinese space officials are conducting thorough safety assessments. It's an example of how space programs worldwide are prioritizing crew safety over schedule pressure. Why this matters? As space becomes more crowded with satellites and debris, safety protocols become crucial for all spacefaring nations. China's methodical approach sets a standard for responsible space operations. Safety first is becoming the new norm in space exploration. European leaders are accelerating climate initiatives ahead of a crucial environmental summit, signaling unprecedented urgency in addressing climate change. The preparations involve coordinating policies across 27 nations, suggesting that Europe is ready to lead by example on climate action. This level of coordination could influence global climate negotiations and demonstrate that ambitious environmental goals are achievable. Why this matters. Europe's climate leadership often drives global environmental standards. Their coordinated approach could provide the momentum needed for international climate agreements. Collective action is gaining momentum. The international community is mobilizing urgent response to humanitarian concerns in Sudan after satellite imagery revealed the scope of casualties in the El Fasher region. While the situation remains dire, the rapid international recognition and response demonstrates improved global humanitarian coordination. Satellite technology is making it impossible to ignore humanitarian crises, forcing faster international action. Why this matters. When atrocities can be documented from space, it changes how the international community responds to humanitarian crises. The technology that reveals suffering also drives solutions. Transparency is driving accountability. Looking across today's stories, we see remarkable patterns emerging that suggest reasons for optimism about humanity's ability to adapt and respond to challenges. From Brazil's innovative approach to environmental protection to Japan's creative solutions for human-wildlife conflicts, we're witnessing unprecedented innovation in addressing complex problems. The successful European satellite launch enhances our ability to monitor environmental changes, while diplomatic efforts continue in multiple regions seeking peaceful solutions to conflicts. What stands out is how technology, diplomacy, and human ingenuity are converging to tackle challenges that seemed impossible just a few years ago. Whether it's space-based environmental monitoring, sophisticated disaster response, or leaders taking personal stands on social issues, we're seeing solutions emerge from unexpected quarters. The thread connecting these stories is human resilience and our capacity to innovate under pressure. From the Philippines recovering from typhoon devastation to international cooperation on space safety, today's news demonstrates that while challenges are real, our collective ability to respond is stronger than ever. Despite the serious challenges we face, from natural disasters to ongoing conflicts, today's stories show that breakthrough solutions are emerging from visionary leadership, technological innovation, and international cooperation. The future we're building together looks increasingly promising. That's the Daily Signal for November 6th, 2025. I'm Remo, reminding you that every day brings new reasons to be optimistic about our shared future. Stay informed, stay engaged, and have a wonderful day ahead.
Unfiltered.